Welcome, I'm Chris, and today we will be taking a look at r/MaliciousCompliance. I have some fun posts for you guys today, so I hope you enjoy. The first one is called I went without my phone for 9 months. First time posting here, but I think this fits. My mom would take away my phone as punishment when I was 13 or so. I got it when I got my first job because I was a 20-minute bus ride away. She would say to do X or else I would or wouldn't do it. And eventually my phone would be taken away for a couple of days. It didn't matter if I did it because she would use the same threat the next day, so eventually I would give up. She would go a couple of weeks before using it as a threat after giving my phone back. But it was her only solution. When I was 15, I was sick of this pattern, so I bought a $30 safe. Put my phone in there and slept in the next day. I handed over the safe and she couldn't give me my phone back unless I wanted her to. I refused to do some things like going to church and babysitting and she couldn't make me. I refused to communicate with her through other people's phone as well. So if I was staying at school for leadership, she would have to find someone to watch the kid so she could walk over. I mean, I wasn't allowed on phones, right? My family was really annoyed that they couldn't contact me. But my mother was trying to be stubborn. My mother had never seen me determined to do anything before and thought she could outlast me. By month 2, everyone was begging my mother to give me my phone back. All the siblings, grandparents who drove me, my dad, she just said to communicate through her, but she was getting annoyed. By month 4, she was basically begging me to take my phone back. She promised she got the point, but I didn't think she did yet. I still had control, so I just refused to unlock the safe. My relatives were annoyed I was being stubborn, seeing that she offered to give it back. But this was the hill I was going to die on, so I ignored them all. Besides, had I learned a lesson yet? Eventually, after 9 months of it being locked in a safe, I took my phone back and started using it again. I spent 9 months without a phone, and even though it made some things inconvenient, it was much worse for everyone around me. My mom never even threatened to take my phone away again. I was a decent kid who helped a lot and did good in school, but sometimes you just don't want to do everything you're told to. So you tolerate the punishment. She still takes away tech from my little brother, but they're younger and do stuff that kinda deserve it. Story for another day, another subreddit. But she didn't try to enforce me to do stuff after this. Edit. To add a little more, I wasn't just being obnoxious. I had a job, was getting A's, babysitting the 5 young boys for free whenever she wanted me to, facilitating communication for most of the family because she was quite disorganized, going to whatever she wanted me to do, helping with the very challenged kids a lot. But this was a lot, and I seldom did anything else. If my mom wanted help, she could have tried to ask her adult children, but many of them refused to babysit the kids or support her. I'm a child, 10 to 15, and was the eldest of the home for a year because of the age gap. She could have done more paperwork to get the ministry to pay for childcare, but she didn't. The house didn't depend on me. But it sure as hell ran smoother when I was helping. Edit 2. I grew up in foster care, so I did have a lot of siblings. 15 of us are permanent, and we did have others, but they were all really young, 6, and didn't hang around, just because this seems really surprising to everyone. And just so you know, in our foster community, there are 3 other families with more permanent children. At no point did all 15 of us live in the same house, seeing at the ages now range from 5 to 33. The next story is called A Woman Has a Problem with My Clothes, so I take them off. I've seen stories like this on Reddit all the time, but I never expected it would happen to me. Yesterday I was at the gym with my friend. I've had minor problems with people there before, but nothing as ridiculous as this. I've been training with my friends since 6 a.m, so the gym was pretty dead. At about 7:30 a woman comes in. There was only 2 other people in the gym at the time. The manager and some other person working out in a different section. The woman checks in and heads down the stairs. She passes by my friend and me who were working out on one of their punching bags. She stops for a second, looks at me, At the time, I assumed it was because of my mad kicking skills. This was not the case. A minute or so later, she comes back. Karen, you can't wear that in here. I was wearing normal worker clothes, waist-high sweatpants, joggers, and a muscle shirt that was a bit short, but because my pants were high, it wasn't revealing anything. Me, confused. Sorry? Karen, you should be sorry. You shouldn't wear clothes like that in public. This is a place of God and you're disgracing it. The gym was connected to a church. I bet you're not even here to work out. You're just here to show off to your boyfriend. Pointing to my friend who was trying not to laugh. You need to change. Your shirt is too short. Those clothes are not allowed in here. She tried to continue, but I had an idea, so I cut her off. Me. So, you have a problem with my shirt? Karen, me. Okay, I take off my shirt. I was wearing a sports bra underneath that covered everything, and you could only see an inch of my midriff due to the high-waisted pants. I had worn just a sports bra in here before, so I knew it wouldn't be a problem. Karen shrieks. Put your shirt back on right now! I'm going to talk to the owner and get you kicked out! Me. Great! She storms back up the stairs to the desk where the manager is. I know I wouldn't be in trouble since I know the manager and he knows me pretty well since I always teach martial art classes at the gym. I look at my friend like, what the F just happened? And he finally just burst out laughing, so I throw my shirt at him. Karen starts talking to him, but I can't hear what she's saying. I grab my water bottle and sneak up the stairs and behind her, trying not to be noticed. Karen, that slut down there took her shirt off and exposed herself to me. Karen was busy yelling at the manager, so she didn't notice me. So behind her, I started pointing to myself and mouthing, I'm the slut. And that's me, to the manager. The manager laughs at me and the Karen yells at him for laughing because this is not a laughing matter. I still don't know how she didn't see me. I didn't want to be caught, so I walked down to the hall to the water fountain, fill up my water bottle, and when I got back, the Karen is gone. Manager, why do you always have to make my job difficult? Me, because it's fun. Where did she go? Manager, she stormed out after I refused to kick you out. Me, well, she left her bag downstairs. Do you think I can give it to her when she comes back? Manager thinks about it for a second. No, unfortunately, I have to leave it behind the desk until she claims it. Me, dang. Alright. I ran downstairs to grab the bag and give it to him. My friend and I were there for another hour, and sadly, she didn't come back. But I'm still overjoyed that I got to experience a wild Karen. And thank you, Malicious Compliance, for giving me the idea of what to do. Next time I am at the gym, I'll be sure to ask if she came back for her bag, and I will update you all on what happened. Edit. Thank you all for your lovely comments. Reading all of them just made my year. I went back to the gym this morning and I talked to the owner. He said that they called the woman to pick up her bag and she came back with her husband. They claimed they were going to sue the gym, which would also be suing the church. The owner informed them that they have a video of the entire event and there was no indecent exposure like a woman was claiming. And I'm still a minor, so she backed off on that. They informed her that she was banned from the gym and the incident would be reported to all the other branches of that church. I doubt I will ever see her again. I just wish I could thank her for giving me such an awesome Reddit story. Isn't it fun when you just get the chance to do exactly what they ask, but it's the opposite of what they actually want? It's just perfect. The next story is called Sure, I Fly 1,000 Miles for My Shift. So last year, I worked for quite possibly the worst corporate retail store for the worst phone company. And at the time, I had the worst manager. Really was a great situation all around. When the manager took over shortly after I had started, she decided that she didn't really like the official scheduling app. It was on her phones most of the time, it was auto-generated, they let us request time off, see your time imbalances. In fact, it was the only functional application that existed in the godforsaken company. But she didn't like it. So she refused to use the app. Instead, she had a spreadsheet that she made each week. That was promised to us a week ahead of time, but we generally wouldn't actually get it until the day before the week's round of shifts started. Enough background, on to the malicious compliance. Since she didn't ever use the official scheduling app, time off requests through there generally fell on deaf ears. So anytime I need a time off, I make the request through there in the official channels and then email her. She was notoriously strict on any time off. The needs of the store outweighed the needs of the poor sucker working here. Except for 1/3 of each month was spent flying out somewhere for her vacation. On this particular instance, I needed time off to go visit my grandma and my cousin in California for my cousin's graduate party. I made sure to ask months in advance and had my grandma buy the tickets ahead of time so I could use that as an excuse to say I had to have the time off. I emailed her all this 4 months in advance and annoy her until I get email confirmation that yes, I can have a whole 2 days off in addition to my normal 2 days. Finally the time comes. I go down to California. The high school graduate party was great, and I'm on day 3, the day before I leave to go back to Oregon. That's when I get a call from my manager. Hey, where are you? Me. Is this some kind of trick question? Manager. No, you're 20 minutes late to a shift. Me. No, I'm not. I'm not on today. As it turns out, Miss Manager didn't send out this week's schedule until after I'd left the state. I didn't bother to bring my work phone with me to receive her made-up schedule, so I didn't get a chance to correct her before the phone call. Manager, yes you are, and if you don't get your butt in here in the next 20 minutes, you're getting a write-up and a second attendant points. Me, that's gonna be kind of hard considering I'm still in California. Do you care to come pick me up? Manager, what are you doing in California? She's panicking, and I don't blame her. There's 5 employees that work for the store, including her. And generally, in the middle of the week, I was scheduled to close solo. Me, I'm visiting my grandma, remember? I emailed you about this months ago, and you approved it. At this point, she's furious that after a long day of sitting in her office watching Netflix, she may have to close the store. Manager, we're going to need to have a serious talk about this when you get back. There was one good thing about this phone company I worked for. One. It was union. We're supposed to get our schedule 3 weeks in advance via the app. She shouldn't be trying this because it's the same reason she's not trying to railroad the openers into staying for my shift. Because they're both incredibly trigger happy with the union. Me. Okay, we can have a talk about it, but I'm going to have to make a quick call to union rep so he can be there. Manager, what? Me. Because you allowed me the time off per your email. Manager, we have to follow the schedule. Me. The one we received last minute through unofficial channels? Me. Because I take screenshots of when you send those and what dates they cover. I'm not sure the union would appreciate. Manager, enjoy your day! Click. That was everything I had for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, then please consider subscribing. I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!